Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your NBA Market Watch for Thursday, December 31st. Happy New Year. Hopefully you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner. Okay guys, what we do in this segment is we monitor the current market conditions of the NBA to see what's come in, what's the totals, the favorites, the underdogs, and see if there's any situations in the marketplace where we can find an edge. And right now, I'm happy to announce this is probably the first time this year that we are in a neutral market when it comes to sports betting for the NBA. And for me, guys, anytime we're in a neutral market, it's fire away. This is where I'll unload 10% of my bankroll. When you're firing into a bull market or a neutral or a bearish market, it's the same thing as I say each and every day on these videos, and I'll say it for the new guy who's watching or the new girl who's watching today for the first time on the YouTube channel. Anytime you're buying, say, like cryptocurrency, or you're buying into stocks in the Dow Jones or the S&P 500, you're not going to pay for an asset that's peaking, right? That's overvalued, that's up 20% on the day. Because why would you buy? What's the old secret of trading? You buy low, you sell high, and it's the same mentality I think you need to take in sports betting. Follow the market, see what the bookmaker needs. And again, my good friend Ross Benjamin says it all the time, you got to think like a bookmaker. And let's see in the current market conditions for December 31st, what's come in the last 7 days on the 7-day average. And for the favorites, straight up, so this column here is the straight up favorites. 62.7% of the favorites came in on the last 7 days, 72 in the last 3 days. So favorites are starting to turn the corner here coming into the last 3 days of NBA betting. And I'm going to show you a correlation between straight up and against the spread and some interesting findings that I'm coming up with. Now, on the over-under market, it's it's always amazing how balanced they are. On the year to date, 48.8, 51.3. So on the 7-day average, we're in a neutral market. So fire away with your over-unders. And against the point spread, we are now 49%, 51% on the 7-day average. So really, there's no clear-cut psychological advantage for the bookmaker or the player. Let's be honest, right? It's not the Miami Heat against Milwaukee Bucks. It's you against the bookmaker, your cash against his cash, and you got to follow what's coming into the market. Now, here's the correlation I want to show you. Last night, December 30th, there were 6 games in the NBA. 4 favorites won, 2 underdogs lost straight up. Now, compare that to the against the spread record. So, of the 4 favorites that won, only one of them didn't cover. 3-3 last night. The night before, 7 favorites won, 3 underdogs lost straight up. But look at this: 7 favorites covered, and the underdogs did not. So 7-3 for the favorites on that night, straight up and against the point spread. So that's why sometimes when you're doing your handicapping, if you really like a pick or you love a pick, can you really say, do I love this pick to win straight up? And that's sometimes a good thing to do when you're betting underdogs, right? Do I feel this? And this is, college sports, totally different animals. It's apple and oranges compared to pro sports, because I find in pro sports, the underdog has a way more higher win percentage than in college sports. So ask yourself this when you're handicapping. Do you think the favorite or the underdog has a straight up opportunity to win the game? And as you can see right here, the straight up favorites won straight up here, 7-3 on December 29th. On December 28th, 4-1 for the favorites to win straight up, but only 2-3. So only 40% cover the spread, but 80% win straight up. So that's a 40% difference right there when you break it down in percentage. So things to keep in mind when you're doing your handicapping. And this is why I always say, when you're in a neutral market, I will bet 10% of my bankroll. If any of these come into a bearish or bullish market, I go right to 5%, because it's just the volatility. You cannot predict who's going to win or lose, who's going to get that streak going, who's going to break that streak, keep that streak. You cannot predict. It's like catching a falling knife, right? But when you're betting into a neutral market, there's no advantage. If let's say, for instance, the underdogs, especially in the NFL. Let's go look at the NFL. Good example in the NFL, especially in the last couple of weeks. Look at this. Look at all the favorites that won the 2 of the last 3 weeks. 62.5% here, 31.3, and then 68.8. If you know the favorites are always coming in, you know that. The bookmakers know that. Who has the advantage? You don't know. We don't know if the favorites are going to keep coming. if the underdogs are going to start, showing up. That's the one thing we cannot predict. But the only thing you can control is how much you're going to wager. Because if you want to bet high risk, high reward type mentality, then you're betting in a bullish market, and what goes up must come down, and things cannot win, and teams cannot lose forever. So that's one thing. Hopefully it's a tip that I've been using, and it works. And it's good money management. Now, looking at the NBA, since this is an NBA video, right? Let's see what's come in the last few days here in the NBA. This is a chart I really like doing, and it's, for shirts and giggles. I think it's always a nice thing to know what's going on in the marketplace, right? Do I think it's going to really help me with my sports betting at the end of the day? Who knows? But at least I know. I'll give an example of a good situation where, let me go over to it right now. The totals. Look at this in the totals. Any total that is hitting between 232 and 239, 0-5 to the under so far in the season. That's pretty good. So keep an eye on that. So these are trends that you want to monitor. And if we know that, the bookmakers know that. So there'll be an adjustment at one point. But again, it's always good to know these type of things before it goes like mainstream and people start catching on. And then the bookmakers adjust, right? So think of this chart here like a fishing net, catching all the minnows before they become sharks, right? No pun intended right there. All right, look at the home teams right here, guys. Home teams winning 30% of the game straight up, only covering 27.33 and for 45%, and the under is 28.32 to the under. 46% of the games have gone over for home teams so far. Home favorites. Now here's if you do like home favorites, we're in a bear market for home favorites. So let's say you do like a pick today. If it's a home favorite, you might. I would scale back to 5% because look at the home favorites right now, 15 and 21 on the year. Home underdogs, 50%. So that's a pretty good record right there. Road underdogs, 21 and 15. So I always say, there's always 4 things to monitor: home favorites, home underdogs, road favorites, road underdogs, and the ones that have the highest risk is obviously the road underdogs. And 21 and 15 on the year for road underdogs for 58.3%, and that's after 7-8 days of NBA playing right now. Look at this: pick them to -3 favorites, 5 and 10 on the season, and for the home favorites, this was like 2 and 8 yesterday or the day before, and it's 5 and 10. So again, a trend pointing to be careful if you do like home favorites. So pick them to -3. As much as because they're at home, don't fall in love with those headlines, right? Just because the team is at home, there's a certain psychological edge to that team because they're at home, they're favorites. There's a feel good, sense to that. I'm going to bet that team that I think they're going to cover. Maybe not. 5 and 10 against the spread. Everything in green is bullish. Everything in red is bearish, and everything in yellow is neutral. And that's what I'm looking for. Anything that's neutral, then I feel I can bet 10% into that category. All right, let me just take another quick look before we sign off here on the market watch. Again, the under, that's pretty good. 0-5 to the under when it's 232 to 239. And again, it's still low volume because the NBA just started. But once the NHL gets going, and this is going to be good for baseball too. All right, folks, there you have it. That's the Market Watch NBA edition today for Thursday, December 31st. Again, Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully you stay safe, and we'll see you back here shortly. And don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner. In the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back shortly with another Raymond Report.